Okay. Yeah, so we're just going over a little bit of the assignment, and we're going over the create character. That was one of the assignments here. So we asked Dan to create a create character form, which gets information about the characters that they want to create, and then it gets saved to the database. So that is, and then it redirects to the roster page. So this is the action here. This is the one that displays the view, the form, and this is the one that processes because it's processing the HTTP post. And you get that, Dan, right? I mean, you with it.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's pretty solid so far.
that's good. That is good. It took me a little bit to get that part, like, because I'm like, what the hell? These guys have a different name. What the hell? But one of them processes the get, and the other one's the post, which again we will go over that later. So yeah, so we get the information from the form here, and then we get database connection. We create a character. We save the character to the database, and then we redirect. We have an option here. We have an option. Ideally, you want to redirect after you create a character to the roster page. Um, and the roster page contains the roster of everything we have, all our characters that we have created. At least that's what it should do. Dave is still working on that roster page. He should be finished soon. I think he had some kind of technical difficulties. But once he does, what's going to happen is we go to the roster page and we could view all the characters on there in a cool way. Okay, so now, the important thing here, we just created a character and we want to go somewhere. We want to return some kind of view or something, which is the roster page. So here, when you said return view roster. Okay, so the important thing, what I wanted to get at here is that remember that our pages, our web pages, are twofold. They need two things. Remember, this is MVC. It is what is it? Model Viewer Controller. Yes, it's been a while. Yeah, a Model Viewer Controller. That's what it stands for. So our views, they need two things. Like they're the views, right? It's just an HTML page, right? But sometimes, what does the view need in order for it to work? Do you remember? It's a kind of a tricksy.
I'm sorry, can you please repeat that?
Yeah, it's definitely a tricksy question. And okay, so again, this is why I'm recording. It's kind of important. So our views, when I go to roster.cshtml, right? It's not created currently. It's not there. But if it existed, let's say if it existed, what kind of can you describe to me what a roster page would look like?
I mean, generally, it's going to have a list of all of our people.
Yeah, pretty much.
I guess we're going to pull those people from.
Yes.
There's going to be an action that pulls them from the database.
Oh, yes, exactly. Go ahead, continue. And then
we put them in tidy little rows and list them for the user to at least look at them, possibly to edit them.
God damn it, that is right. See, but you got the most important idea there. So when we go to an action, for example, let's just make believe that we go here and they said roster, right? Okay. The initial part of that action, I think it's he created it. So let's see. Yeah, there it is. This is the action here. So this is actually really good. This is the action. He gets the characters from the database and he puts them in a list. And then he puts this list and as a model. This is the model, so he has a list. He has a model list.
Oh, I think I see.
Oh, you seeing it? Wait.
So if I'm doing the view roster and he's doing the view roster, like if I'm doing it without all those actions, it's just going to show up as an empty page.
Exactly. Shazam. Yes. So the main difference is, right? You see, it's good that you can work it out. That's what we want. That's where we get there. That's where true understanding comes from. So the main idea that we want here, that we want to get to, is that when you say, or when we say, so the main difference is if you return a view, you're just returning the web page itself. The web page itself, when you get to it, is expecting a model with a bunch of names on it, which is this. You see when he passes it, and he's passing this list to the view. The view doesn't exist yet. Yeah. I mean, we could create it. I want to wait on Dave though a little bit, but I mean, we could create ourselves. But yeah. So if we create, I mean, if we return this view, all it is just going to return a bunch of HTML, and it's going to crash because this is like, hey, there's no model here. This is the type of view that needs a model, but there's no model, so I'm going to crash. It's going to say, hey, man, hey, dude, where's my model? Right? Remember, when we work with 8 pages, well, some of these are tied to a certain model for them to work. Others are not. See, like this about page does not need a model. You see, it doesn't have the add model for it to do its job.
Right.
But the roster page will. So a better way of doing this, right, is we have something called redirect to action. And then you give it which action you want to redirect, which in this one is going to be roster, I think, right?
Yeah. I had initially tried that. I think because it didn't exist, I wasn't getting anywhere with it.
Yeah. It's. I mean, either way, it definitely a bit tricksy or harder for you because you did not have something tangible or concrete to actually see after you redirect it. So either one would not have worked. But at least this redirect to the action, and the action is the one that does the heavy lifting, gets all the information, and also the action itself calls the view. So it's twofold. Let's see, redirect to action. So it's twofold. It gets all the data that you need and also returns the cool view that you wanted in the first place. So it's a win-win right here. Most of the times you can get away if the page is a simple one and just say like, hey, thank you, or anything really, or if it does JavaScript or Ajax in the page itself, which is more advanced stuff, then you don't need to worry about it. But if it needs a model, then you definitely need to redirect to action. So this is good. This is good. Right now it's gonna be broken though because the model, I mean the view doesn't exist. So I mean, but we'll see. So here, so no, I mean, I think you have done your assignment. And how long did it take you, and how hard was it?
Altogether, it took like an hour and a half.
Ooh.
Shouldn't have taken that long, but I was massaging things and trying to figure stuff out.
Well, no. Well, I think one of the things, like I said, we need to get back into our groove, our actual programming groove, which we haven't been doing, because we need to just go back and bang forms, bang, parameters, bang functions, and have it become second nature again while we learn some of the newer things that we're supposed to be learning. And that is, that is a good way of doing it. Because, well, let me ask you a question now that we're here. Let me check with Dave. Let me just give it Dave a checkity.
If I can take 1 moment.
Yeah. Let's take
a
3 minute or something. Let's see. Let me pause it. Can I pause? That is weird.
Hello?
Oh, what's up?
Hey.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm just like a ghost ghosting.
Oh no, you're creeping. You are creeping.
Yeah, and I just like uploaded a check-in
Oh, nice.
because I'm still working on this.
No, I know. I had that tech. We're actually going over all the over Dan's assignment,
Okay.
and then we'll go over yours and
Yeah,
see
Dan's code looks good. I look at it.
and see what's up.
My roster is like effed up everywhere.
Well, what's up with the roster?
Let's see, the roster. I can't get it to upload because my coding is not on par and my HTML tables suck.
Oh well, that's part of the fun, my friend. That is part of the fun.
Yes.
Mm, let's see. All right. So I'm gonna pause the recording. I don't think I can pause the recording, which is weird. Let me see. Well, can you see my screen? Stop recording. That is weird. Well, I'm just gonna stop for now.